Join Wisconsin-based fishing enthusiast Erik as he explores some of the hottest fisheries in the Midwest. On Tactical Angling, we'll share the latest tactical strategies that will help you become a better angler. If you aren't hooked on fishing already, you will be. Tactical Angling works with some of the best brands in the business, including Fish Bum Outfitters, AnglerEdits.com, Dakota Trolling Motors, Humminbird Electronics, Figure 8, and Dick Smith's Live Bait and Tackle.
Hey guys, Erik here with Tactical Angling. I am with guide Mike Koepp out on Pewaukee Lake on a really cold, windy February day. The goal today is to catch some walleyes through the ice, and along the way hopefully we can teach you some tips and techniques that will help you be a little bit more successful on the water. So hopefully you enjoy the segment, and if you do, remember to subscribe at the end of the video.
Oh, shit, to be that time. There's no such thing as a, let's see if the line's off to the side. Oh yeah, there's a fish on there.
Got our first flag here. We've only been fishing a couple minutes.
Yeah, we just finished setting up. So far I don't feel anything. Might have dropped it. Oh, a lot of line. Wow, there it is. Oh, just came off.
Mike, what's your best suggestion for, you know, when you set the hook on a fish like that? You have a lot of short strikes, or do you?
Yeah, I don't. If you notice, I didn't really set the hook. All I did is I kept bringing it in. I mean, we got probably 20 feet of line out or so.
Seemed like you were just keeping tension.
Went up. So
yeah.
what they do is they'll grab it, and by what just happened there's a bunch of them here. Because what happens is when one comes in and grabs it and takes off, it's like a dog going to grab something. It grabs it and gets away from the other dogs. It's just, it grabs it and it gets away. Sure. And then if you wait long enough, you'll notice the line will go back in. They come back in for more. The thing is, there's so many little walleyes in here right now, and the last thing we want to do is have them swallow it. And when they do swallow it, you got to take care of that, and that's kind of what we're going to do tonight. We're going to explain how we can save these little walleyes when they do swallow it. So there is a way rather than just cutting the line. Sure. I mean, that's a little on the big side for walleyes, but I kind of keep the real small ones off. Sure. Because we got them 6.5 to 7.5 inchers are the ones that we stocked this spring. We've actually caught a couple of those, and sometimes those are the stealing ones. They'll come in and grab the minnow by the head, and then they can't get the whole minnow down, so they swim around till you pull the hook out of the minnow's back, and then they swim around and try to eat it. Oh, this one's a little better. Probably one on 15 inches. Now once you got him and he's coming in, slow down. It'll help so they don't blow that sack, that air sac. Sure. You don't want to bring them in super quick. But you do take a chance to lose them too. Just like you guessed. Yeah. And you can see there's just that one barb left, so I'm actually going to put my finger down there and I pushed the skin off that barb. Sure. So it was actually on the throat, so I took it out backwards. The hook's out. Nice, probably 14.5 incher. Sure. Save him for another day. Yeah, awesome. So I actually just popped it loose. What I did is I took the hook, I bent it upside down, and I took my finger and I pushed the throat off of it, and I pulled the hook out. Interesting. I'm going to take this little guy, probably a 13.5 incher or so. Right. He's going to live. He's fine. He's actually going to go down with a nice meal. Yeah, there you go with a meal. So there you go. Let's send him back, tell him to grow up, and when he's 18 inches, maybe we'll have him for breakfast, right? Definitely. Very cool. Hello, guys. Oh, we gotta get them up. Yeah, here we go. That's what I like about the Castmasters. I'll jig this little guy up. That's probably from 3 years ago, once we stocked. That's what I like about it, right there, with jigging. I seen him on the bottom and he kind of looked interested, so I picked the rod up, gave it a couple shakes.
Let them go.
Beautiful.
Whoosh. When it's so miserable, you don't want to feel like fishing, you know, and dealing with cold hands and everything.
That's when it's probably the
That's
best,
when it's the best. Oh, absolutely.
You like peeling line off before you pick it up?
Actually, you won't have to. He's got a bunch. See how much line he's off to the side?
Yeah.
So that I get this line off. Go ahead. You don't even really have to set the hook. And once you're into them and you feel them on there, that's one of the ones that will run out with.
That's what happened to me. I didn't feel anything, and then all of a sudden I felt pull on small.
Oh, there we go.
See, yeah, he did the same thing. He ran out with it. There you go. I'm just making it easier winding this up.
Finally just now realized.
Yeah, like shit on the bottom.
Nice and easy off the bottom though, so you don't break the
so you don't go to
swim ladder.
Hurt his ladder.
Yeah, that's really important. Anybody that's fishing this fish.
Yeah, it's just you know, because you know it's 20 feet of water here, but the thing is the fish are coming from deeper water.
Sure.
So they're used to being in the deeper water, and when you from 20 feet to the surface isn't really an issue, but I don't know how this deep. I mean, this fish actually took a bunch of line out. So
How's it feel, Matt?
It knows it's hooked. Not a big one,
basically,
but it's a decent
another
one.
one of our stockers.
Yep.
You know, I mean, look how good these are going to be in a few years.
Yeah, really. Okay, what we're doing here, guys, is a handful of these smaller walleyes will take the hooks really, really deep. And in the past, one of the only solutions you had was to cut the line. So what we're going to be doing here is actually going in and showing you a technique that you can get these fish unhooked without it harming them.
Yeah, you can see right here, if you look down the throat, it's really hard with the light.
Yeah, it's challenging.
You see
but
down
you
there?
You can see, yeah.
You kind of see where the hook, you can see the eye of the hook. So as long as we can get to see the eye of the hook, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the line around my finger here, keep it somewhat tight. You can see where I actually, with my hemostats, I'm actually grabbing the hook. I'm grabbing it by the eye, and what I'm doing is turning the hook. You see in there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm turning the hook upside down, and that way you can actually pull the hook out of the throat. See
Very
how I
cool.
180'd it?
Yep.
And I pulled that hook instead of the eye going up and the hook's going like this. What I did is I grabbed it and I turned the hooks upside down and lifted it up, and then they actually, the throat comes off. So
Sure.
there's the hook now. It's actually on the hemos, which I had through the gills. Now I pull it out of the gills, wrapped around my finger a couple times. So I'm going to leave this walleye with a little meal.
Yep.
Since he
kind
had
of
it.
kind of a thank you.
And it's well, we'll show you what I'm using. We're not trying for little walleyes, we're trying for the bigger ones. That's a pretty good sized minnow for a walleye.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as you can see, these little guys here, they are definitely getting to be chunks, and this is something that either we put in or the DNR put in.
The stocking program has a lot to do with that. Did he go?
And now he's gone.
Yep, good.
His tail going. Look at he's kicking some bubbles from the top.
Yep.
Yep, very cool.
And it's better than having a chub hook in her stomach.
Absolutely.
The smaller the hook, the better your chances of not hurting the fish. You look how little that hook is. That's just a tiny little number 12 treble hook.
me that again,
They're
Mike.
so tiny that I actually bend the barbs. You can see where I actually bend it out a little bit, just for a little
yeah,
better
look at
hooking
that.
percentage. You actually just bend them open just a little bit.
Sure.
Now, but who knows how many I've caught on that, but
Sure.
How big
You know
is that
that
compared
and
to your lead weight?
8-pound test. This is a little number 5 split shot on there. 8-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon line. This is deadly for them. I mean,
Very
one
cool.
after another, and even with bigger minnows, you're still catching them. The reason I'm using the bigger ones because we do have the smaller. The stockers from this year are probably 5.5 to 6 inches. 5.5 to 6 inches. I don't want to catch them on. You know, if we use some of these smaller minnows, we can catch those, but I don't want to catch those. I purposely want to catch the bigger ones.
Sure.
And of all the walleyes in the lake right now, the one we just let go is probably the most common size.
Got him? I didn't. He kind of pulled back. Yeah, I got him.
All right.
I didn't mean to. I hit him a little hard there.
Yeah, it's all right.
He was.
Oh, no, this is the one.
Standard- the
These are the ones. No, this is a little smaller.
Yeah, a
one.
little smaller.
That's the next year class.
Sure.
That's the next size smaller.
Yeah.
That's our stocking there.
Yeah.
Is that a 2.5-year-old?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. That's actually the smallest one.
Nice, healthy.
But it's nice. That's stuff that we're putting in
absolutely.
here, dude.
We got another walleye on here. We've had They're really finicky tonight, but we've had a ton of flags. Mike was able to get one jigging in the shack. Might have a little bit of catch.
Wrapped around the dam.
Yeah, that happened before. Your standard stocking stocked. Is that a 2.5 or 3.5?
This is actually a little one. This is a 2.5. Look at that.
Yep.
Talk about eating good.
Right in the mouth. Look at that. Yeah.
The size of that. For a walleye this size, eating fish that big.
Look at that.
Pretty good deal for that little guy. It's a little guy.
Yep. We want to keep him. That's a 2.5-year-old fish.
Yeah, 2.5-year-old little walleye. Oh, he's way look cool. He went
Perfect.
way down there. So. Yeah, that Tempo's been in the water, what, a minute?
Yeah.
2 minutes maybe? Just set it back up, but it was with a smaller minnow, so.
Another walleye. Nice.
Yeah.
Good work.
Go, yeah.
He's ready to go.
I'm out of here. Jigging rod, you can let him go and they'll go right down the hole. See if he can go down one hole, back the other. You can spin around.
Try to
Just
figure it out. There he goes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Walleyes for tomorrow we started 3 years ago because the population of walleyes in Pewaukee Lake were definitely dwindling. We didn't have any recruits coming up and from VHS. We didn't have any stocking. So we started a chapter as a Walleye for Tomorrow Pewaukee chapter, and we actually net our own walleyes every spring. We got a hatchery, so we net the walleyes, take them to our hatchery, remove the eggs, take the milk from the males, fertilize the eggs. We do them one batch at a time, and we put them at our hatchery. So since we started doing this 3 years ago, we've let 4.5 million fry go the first year, 4.25 million fry the second year, and last year, 2016, we let 3.1 million fry go. So.
Now, one thing I want to mention too is a lot of the fish that we're catching tonight are 2.5 and 3.5-year-old fish. Mike, can you kind of give me a little bit of an idea on the stocking efforts of these fish? These are fish you've actually stocked, correct?
Yeah, the first year we did it, we put in a bunch of fry, and the DNR actually put in 35,000 fingerlings, which were 5.5 to 6.5 inches long.
Sure.
Our fry was about 5 inches long, so we really don't know if which ones were living and which are better. What we do know is there is a ton of walleyes in Pewaukee Lake now.
We've seen that.
So
tonight,
and then tonight we got a bunch of fish. We caught a couple from the first year. We got a bunch of them from the second stocking, which was 2 years ago, which
Sure.
the DNR didn't supplement any. So all those fish came from our hatchery,
which is awesome.
because there isn't any natural reproduction going on here with the carp and everything else.
Well, years ago you couldn't go out and catch 10 walleyes, 15 walleyes,
Right.
whatever, and now on a standard evening you can go out and do that, and that's why, again, the catch and release is so important
It's
to these
huge.
smaller fish.
It really is huge.
The size limit has changed from 15 inches to 18 inches, and it's important to just, if you're going to keep a fish, maybe keep 1 or 2 for dinner, but continue to let these fish
Right.
go.
Don't
So we
over
can,
harvest. Don't catch fish and give them to people. And
we'll have a heck of a
all
fishery
that.
in a couple years. It's really, really cold out here. Peaceful, cold and peaceful.